how to create a high-ticket B2B ecosystem. I want to share actually one of the presentations I just gave to one of the leads that opted in, right? So if you want to, as well, 100 free leads from our software that we're testing on the marketplace, make sure you reach out to us. But I want to show you the value first, right? So there's two sides of Saulna, okay? And on this channel, we document the actual systems it takes for you guys to scale your business internally to over 6 figures a month, so you're not dependent on agencies or operators anymore, and you can actually lean on systems for you to scale, okay? Now, there's two sides of Saulna, right? We have our software, which is Saulna, and we scrape nothing but the highest quality leads in the B2B space. We can get super niche specific and down to the exact qualifications and parameters of your ideal lead that you want coming in. Okay, now on the other side, Saulna Consulting, right? That's where we actually come on board and show you how to implement these systems internally into your company. Okay, and I want to break down a presentation I gave to a really high ticket funding company earlier today, actually, and I want to share you guys the exact game plan we broke down for him. Okay, and if you guys want your own personalized game plan, stick around to the end. Okay, and I'm going to actually give you the sauce you need to not only create this game plan for yourself, so you can see how you can break past multi-6 figures and $1 million months. Okay, it's how we have over a dozen companies right now internally doing over 100K, 200K a month with our systems. All right, and we built processes to pretty much automate and delegate the entire implementation for you. That way, your business is scaling without you and without us. Okay. So the position they're coming in, which is why I really want to share this, is where a lot of companies are at that we speak to. Okay, you have really high aspirations, but you know right now you're scaling pretty much strictly just referral and word of mouth basis. That should be a bonus on top of your other acquisition sources that you have coming in for your company, right? Now, from a referral standpoint, right? It is scalable. I don't want to say that it's not, but it's not scalable when you want to break past 200K, 300K a month, right? And now you're reliant on people to basically market your business for you, right? So this company right now is 100% referral basis in the B2B funding space. Okay, we do extremely well within the B2B funding space. As well, life insurance, any model like tax advisors, right? Consulting companies. Like if you're selling B2B, these systems will work for you. Okay, in full transparency, if you have a B2C offer, this video and this channel honestly isn't for you. Like even agencies, marketing agencies, like this can help you scale. Okay, now referrals, we're bringing them in about 5 to 6 calls a week. So give or take 20, 30 calls a month. 100% referrals, and you had a really high close rate because these leads are literally laydowns, right? But word of mouth doesn't scale predictably, right? You need a system that generates leads on demand while maintaining your high close rate, right? So their goal was to get to $10 million a month in funded deals, all right? So based on his metrics and everything he gave us in the initial discovery call so we could build out this game plan, right, his average deal size is 200K, right? With their margins and everything, he would need around 50 deals a month to hit $10 million in monthly volume, okay? 50 deals a month is their target at a 20 to 30% industry standard close rate, right? Even though he's at 80% with referrals, that means he would need about 160 to 250 booked calls a month coming in, right? So 40 to 60 calls a week, okay? Now, this may seem like a lot. This may seem like not a lot to some people, right? But again, I want to show you the systems to where you can absolutely scale this thing and rip it, okay? Now, let me pause. So this is the math, okay? The current gap is that they're getting, 5 to 6 calls a week, and they need 40 to 60 calls a week to actually hit their metrics. So you need a 7 to 10x increase in lead volume, right? So the core problem they're facing right now is that they're dependent on referrals Right? So there's no predictable lead generation system. They can't scale beyond their network, right? There's no way to actually hire brokers because they need leads, right? And there's no way to build a scalable business that's actually exit ready, right? And that they're capped at their current revenue, right? Because they're only sustaining on referrals and word of mouth, right? So what these successful funding companies are doing differently, that are doing 100, 200, 300K a month profit in their business, right? They generate their own leads from ads, outbound, and even content, right? They distribute these leads to their brokered network, okay? They collect commission off these funded deals, and they scale without hiring more salespeople, okay? And then they build a valuable, sellable business. That is the main thing I want to lean into about these systems that we do. We help establish these systems internally into your company. So not only can you generate more high quality leads, but you're actually building a sustainable business, and one you can genuinely sell, because now your processes and operating procedure, everything's leaned onto your systems, and not you being the face, and not you being the one that has to show up daily and take the closing calls, right? We need to build this in a way where you can have freedom. And you can actually sell this to a private equity company, because people are getting extremely high multiples in this industry. And I'm sure in your industry, whichever that may be, and you need the systems to actually be able to go do that, right? And that's the underlying solution that we want to solve here at Saulna. We want to give you guys these high-ticket B2B systems that's allowing these big brokerages and firms to generate leads as these lead vendors and sell it out to their network and their brokerages and basically scale, right? And every person has the ability to turn their own company into this sort of system, and that's what we want to give back to the market, okay? So really, I want to dive into building this internal ecosystem that generates qualified leads and distributes them to your brokered network. Okay, so this is the flow, right? Lead gen's top of funnel as well as lead quality, right? You can generate leads, but if they're shit leads, then you won't even get people to funding or get them to close a deal, whichever service or product you're offering, right? So lead quality is top of funnel, okay? Another reason why we rolled out our software, so we can have over 90% lead quality from an outbound perspective. And this way it allows us to reverse engineer that back into your paid traffic, coming back into your internal ecosystem, and everything is funneling perfect, right? So top of funnel is lead gen, then qualification, then distribution, funding, and then, obviously you're getting the commissions, right? All of this genuinely can be automated and delegated, right? Lead gen, only thing you should be doing if you want to be is rolling out more content and VSLs and assets to improve your business and, you, if you're still the face of your company, as an expert in the space. But the qualifications, this middle of funnel, is where we're going to dial in actually the middle of funnel processes in, your CRM, whether that's Go High Level, HubSpot, Salesforce, right? Get an A player in there to do the qualification processes, like the warm dialing, right? The actual conversion mechanisms needed, so they're getting on these calls ready to buy, right? And then as well, if you are just distributing it to your broker leads, then it's just getting a proper CRM in place where as a lead comes in, they get qualified and then they get automatically distributed to your team, so you can go right into the funding, right? And then these 3 acquisition channels that I broke down with, my guy I spoke with earlier. I don't want to, drop his name or anything, but these are 3 acquisition channels that can actually push you to, the levels you want to reach, okay? And honestly, the 3 core ones we're seeing work extremely well in this B2B space that you can get up and running with speed inside your own company and start just booking out and collecting cash, okay? So paid ads, cold calling, and LinkedIn outreach, okay? So one form of warm traffic that you can optimize and scale, and 2 forms of outbound traffic, so you have multiple acquisition channels on, you're on the top of your funnel, right? Because again, if you only have referrals and word of mouth right now, it only goes as far as people refer you and word of mouth goes. Okay? Well, we need channels that you can actually start just scaling and throwing fuel in the fire, right? It's the same reason why cold calling right now, this has 40 plus qualified calls a month. Guys, let me show you this, right? Our team last week booked 26 calls from our outbound processes, and then the week before that they booked 35, right? Like insane metrics right now. Insane, okay? And we've just been throwing fuel in the fire. We're bringing on more cold callers, right? We're dialing in our scripts, our processes, and it's flooding us out. It's so we can actually break past 100K a month, right? I've been doing a series right now where I'm documenting hitting 100K in Q1, which is only 14 sales calls a week when we reverse engineer all of our metrics inside my internal company right here at Saulna. And we are doing double and triple the volume right now, right? And I've been extremely pleased with how this Q1 has been going. And I want to give out these systems to more people so you can scale with speed as well. Okay, so total with all these 3 acquisition channels, you're looking at an extra 90 to 130 qualified sales calls a month. Okay, this might seem overwhelming to some people, right? I say this number to some people and it goes like, I don't even know how I'm gonna handle that, right? That's a good problem to have, guys. Okay, like we don't need to be thinking small. Like I'm sure you're tired of these fluctuating months of where you're going from 2K to 5K to 10K or 15K and then back down and then back up, right? No, we need to get a consistent lead generation source coming in and then make it sustainable, right? If you can't withhold 90 to 130 qualified sales calls a month, then obviously make it sustainable. But let's get it to a point where you're capped and we need to scale, right? Like let's push this thing to 100K a month, to 300K a month, because people are doing it and they're setting it up in a way where they're not having to really do too much. And that's what I want to break down, that these systems can do for you, especially when you automate and delegate the right aspects of your company. Okay. Now, lead quality is the foundation, like I was breaking down. So this was his ICP, and again, if you guys opt in for the game plan at the end, if you haven't already, done that game plan, I'm gonna send this out to some of the people that we have hopped on calls with. And, if you want to get back on and dive deeper into these systems, make sure you please reach out to us. But for our people on YouTube that want a game plan so I can break down all of your metrics, your ideal customer, and the best way for you to go after them, make sure that you comment or DM us game plan on Instagram at SaulnaDigital, and we'll reach out to you and hop on a call. This takes no more than 15, 20 minutes. We'll do a deep dive, and as well, you'll get 100 free leads, okay? Now, how it works, right? So we're going to be generating, qualifying, and distributing the leads, and then their team members, right, are going to be pretty much doing the sales, and the commission is going to be rolling back up to the top, okay? Now, paid ads, this channel is going to be the fastest ROI as far as it goes, but we're going to be launching all of them with speed, right? So, like, we had one of our guys the other day, we gave 100 free leads to. He made 20 dials, booked 2 people, closed 1 deal. You know what I'm saying? Now he can take that money and he's putting it right back into ads off these 100 free leads. Okay? And this is how we're trying to curate our ecosystem. We want to provide you guys with so much value that, you're able to literally get results, come back, invest with us, and continue to get insane results and a crazy return on, investment. Okay? Now, how it works from a paid ads perspective, we love the direct response messaging. We think that works extremely well in the B2B space. It's direct. It's not indirect like the B2C market, right? We use lead forms to capture all the contact info. This runs to your CRM. And then we're going to have automated, warm dial processes to qualify these leads. We come on board right through all of our processes. We give you every SOP that we have that you need to establish your company's systems at a foundational level. And then we're helping you just throw fuel on the fire with these different acquisition sources. Okay, your foundations will be set within the first week. And then we're just honestly sprinting at getting these acquisition sources up. Okay, paid ads. Okay, you could genuinely, for a really good B2B lead, we're around $35 cost per call. Up front, do not be shocked if they come in around that $50 to $100 cost per call. But again, they're going to be super high quality from all the testing and data we're already going to have from your market. Okay, and then we'll be able to optimize this and get the cost lower and lower until it's extremely sustainable. You can ramp spend. We suggest $30 minimum a daily spend. Okay, ads will go live within the first 5 days of coming on board. If you guys are watching this and you want to actually see how an implementation looks like, we get ads up and running right after that foundations within the first 5 days, and it's optimized and generating consistent calls all within the first month. Okay, cold calling, you'll have predictable volume. We provide you with these outbound targeted leads. Okay, that again we get from our software, and then from this, no cost per call. Really, there really isn't too much of a cost here because the leads are included upon implementation, unless you buy leads from us, right? And then that's a different story. But genuinely, you can look around extra 40 plus qualified calls a month with a minimum, right? Right now, we're averaging a 75% show rate, but a minimum of 50 to 60% show rate, 20 to 30% close. Okay, we show you how to establish these acquisition levers, onboard people. So when I say that, we have a network of talent that you can leverage. These people all want to be cold callers, warm dialers, closers, DM setters, right? So you can literally come on, automate, and delegate your entire acquisition process from these outbound channels, and then we'll give them the targeted leads and the scripts for them to follow, so they literally can just lean on your systems. And then what we do on a high level is consult you on the just build and consistent optimization of these systems so that they're getting crazy results. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then as well on the LinkedIn side of things, we'll show you how to build a sustainable process from that. All right, as well, getting just consistent calls, all coming in around that 30 to 45 day mark, right? We want to build everything in a step-by-step process with all three of these channels, okay? And that way you can go from, only 20 to 30 calls a month, 100% effort with word of mouth and trying to get more referral companies, to literally almost 0% effort, absolutely quadrupling the amount of qualified booked calls you're getting a month, and actually get you on place to hit your metrics, right? So to hit that $10 million a month funded goal, right? These systems will literally, with the systems added, get them around an extra 110 to 160 qualified calls a month, right? Boost them up, right? Absolutely triple, quadruple the amount of closes they're going to be getting a month, which is just going to push the overall numbers up, and as well, it's going to take them off their day-to-day processes, because we're going to be forced to scale. We're going to be forced to go hire cold callers and warm dialers, right? And scale out more brokers, which is ultimately the end goal. And we can't be afraid of that. All right, guys? And I want to make it clear, we're not replacing any of the systems you have. We want to come in, optimize what's working, and build on top of them, all right? And show you guys how to do all of that internally with proven internal processes, okay? The different phases, right? Again, this is personalized to, my guys' offer from Brooklyn Funding Group that I spoke with, okay? Now, obviously, we're going to be, personalizing these phases depending upon, where your business is at and your exact roadmap. But I will say this roadmap is ideally the same across the board, where we set the foundations, we go into launch, we optimize, and then we scale. Okay, that's really kind of our 4 phases we have over the 90 days. Okay, investment is different per each company. Okay, and as well, what you're going to get inside is the complete lead gen system, all of the plug and play automations and workflows, vetted access to our network, all the scripts, sequences, and SOPs ready for you to deploy and literally plug and play for you to be able to rinse this, plug in your offer, your ICP, and everything needed for you to scale. Okay, 90 days of strategic consulting and optimization, and as well 24/7 support from our team. Okay, expected ROI is massive. Okay, genuinely, way we set up, we have an implementation fee up front and then a back end. Okay, right now, it's taken companies, like the longest cycle we've had is 33 days for a company to hit that back end metric, where we also get our second payment. Okay, but most of them are crushing it in under 21 days. And I want you to be able to do the same. All right, guys. And so, again, why this system works, it's going to give you predictable lead flow, okay, scalable without hiring more salespeople, right? You have people within your company that can already take the calls. You can outsource the calls too. You just need to generate more leads and distribute them, okay? This builds a genuinely valuable business, right? A business that generates its own leads is worth 5 to 10x more than one that depends on referrals. It's actually exit ready, okay? It's a proven model, right? We've implemented this for a dozen plus companies doing over 100K to even $1 million a month. Same system, different industries, right? And it's low risk, right? We split the implementation fee up front with you. That way our actual profit is performance based and you only pay when you make money, okay? Now, guys, I can go deeper into this, right? Like why now? Like I kind of went into all this with the guy on the call, right? But I want you guys to just have a really good understanding of our system, maybe even your current model versus, the model we're running, right? Like this ecosystem type of model, the evergreen funnel, right? So you guys can have multiple acquisition sources coming in. You guys can have just a boatload of leads opting into your calendar, right? We also show you how to build this out so it's scalable for your team. And literally, we walk you through every single system that you're going to need to automate and delegate and just have an influx of qualified leads coming in. All right, guys, I hope this is beneficial, and we'll see you at the top. Motion. Oh, and make sure you follow us on IG at SaulnaDigital and reach out to us if you want a free game plan. Peace.